Have you ever wondered how pilots train? We're here at Lufthansa Aviation Training to find out. This is a massive simulator facility with all kinds of aircraft models. There's a helicopter we're going to check out, 747. They've recently taken delivery of their first 777X simulator as well. And we've got a very special guest here to show us around some of these things, do some flying. Let's go check out the simulators.
Welcome to our training center in Frankfurt. We have around 22 full flight simulators here, including the newest one, the 777-9. Not yet ready for training, but we're just setting it up. And I'm looking forward to give you some exciting insights into our machines. Basically, as the name says, Lufthansa Aviation Training, we are, the core is the Lufthansa Group, pilots and cabin crew. So we have the ab initio training we do with them when they start flying a new aircraft type. And of course, the recurrent training when they come back every 6 months into the simulators. And the same applies for cabin crew. We see the cabin crew training devices where they start their initial training and where they also come back for the recurrent training. So basically covering the full range of initial and recurrent training for flight crews.
Nice. And what sets Lufthansa Aviation Training apart from others? So what makes it special?
Well, we think we have a really long experience because, as you know, the background is the Lufthansa Group. So we have all these kinds of simulators we're running, sometimes more than 30 years, so great experience in engineering as well. And I think it's what Lufthansa stands for as well, it's the quality. And customers all over the world glad to join us here in Frankfurt and in the other training centers. So I think the quality.
Right now we're about to head into this simulator. It's actually kind of a special simulator because it's A330 and can be switched to A340-600. And we've got the perfect man for the job for this. This is Lufthansa Captain and instructor Claus. You may know him from social media. And I guess this is right up your alley, right? Because
Exactly.
You're flying all of these things.
Absolutely.
And the A340-600 is a special aircraft, especially for you, right?
It's a special for me. It's a special aircraft, yeah. And so let's head into the simulator.
Perfect.
Well, here's a little tour of the Airbus, which is which, and where are we right now? Like, we're starting with the overhead panel. It's like pretty much described here. So we have the hydraulic system. It's always like on the left and right hand side says where it is. And when people get trained, they're gonna be trained, okay, when it's about fuel, they go like that, fuel, and then go to that pump or go to that switch you have to use. Like this is the electric, this is the air. And on that you have the lights, external lights, and like the internal lights, like the fasten seatbelts, there's no smoking signs, we're still there, emergency lights, and the lighting in the cockpit. This is the APU switch, and this is the central part. And here is the fire switches for the APU, or the fire push buttons. With the agent you can discharge into the APU, and here the 4 fire push buttons for the engines. This is the ADIRS, the inertial reference system. So with this we are able to navigate like independently from GPS or other means, which is very important. This is emergency electrical power. In fact, this is also connected to the RAD. You maybe know the RAD, which provides us with like basic hydraulic power and basic electrical power in case there's total loss. GBWS is the ground proximity warning system. This is the oxygen for the passenger. This is the recorder. The calls, if you want to call the forward door, like all the 4 doors. This is the purser call, it's a different call. So maybe the purser is at the door 3 or door 1, you don't know, but you want to call him. And you call the flight rest for the cabin and for the cockpit crew. Wipers, left and right side. And this is like engine switches, a bit complicated to explain those. This is ventilation for the cargo, if we have live animals, for example, in the cargo. And this is a communication set. We don't have circuit breakers in the Airbus, in the long-range Airbus. We have like reset breakers. That means like a reset on a computer, like a reset. And on the center pedestal, the 4 thrust levers, the 2 FMGES, like the flight management computer, and the keypads to insert this. This is about communication here, number 2. This is the transponder, which is very important for flight radar 24. So I put 1, 3, 4, 6. Now the transponder is on, you're going to see that. And yeah, this is the weather radar system. And this is special on this is the taxi camera. Switch it on, so you see the taxi camera here, even in the simulator. It's very important for taxi just because you have to oversteer a lot, not to cut the corners and taxi just into the grass. That's about it. This is the parking brake, this is the printer, the flap lever. As on all aircraft, the flap lever is a bit like shaped like a wing, as well as the thrust lever is a bit shaped like an engine, and the gear lever is shaped like a tire or a gear. The auto brake, this is the gear indication. This is the standby horizon, or ISIS as we call it. Standby navigation. RMI, this is the clock. And this is like the WhatsApp on planes. They call it CPDLC. If you go for professional use, you can have text communication with ATC controllers. And this is basically, those panels are control the display on the navigational display and the primary flight display, and the center part is the autopilot. The stick of the Airbus, how you steer it, the rudder pedals for braking and for the rudder. It's the most important thing. Even in the simulator, you have the table, so now you know. On this, the engines are running already, so normally the engines are cut off, but by this you can see the engines are running. Then a quick check where we are. We are in Frankfurt on runway 25 center. There's enough fuel for some traffic pattern maybe. Yeah, quite perfect right now. You can see like on this, you can adjust it and you can remember the numbers, because the goal is to have like the arm rested fixed, and to have not to just hang or just stick to the stick, you know. Yeah. Then adjust the rudder pedals. There's also numbers down there. I used the transition in the simulator to find the perfect numbers. Yeah, okay. With an Airbus, you have like those three things over there, like two red and one white, and you have to sit like here that the white ball is just covered behind that red ball. This is the perfect position. And your eyes are just being able to see this, the glare shield from above, just able to see that. Then you're at the perfect position. So try to adjust this.
What's interesting for you to show us, I guess?
Well, it will be interesting for me to show you do the takeoff and do the landing, just to feel the difference. Yeah. Because it's not just like steering with a stick. This is the whole setup. It has several flight control computers. This, like every Airbus, and they are programmed by each flight control computer by a different company, and each flight control computer by a different company in a different computer language. So by this, they reduce the possibility of any flaws or any bugs in that software. And this is how why this thing is so perfectly like programmed. This is totally different to like Boeing aircraft, like when it comes to how do the pilots control the aircraft. And I like to show this on the landing. I just then explain how it's designed to do the landing. It feels like a bit like a normal plane, but it doesn't. So what you're doing then, how to land the plane, it's different than on a Boeing, and different as on a helicopter as well.
Yeah. When this simulator is in 340-600 mode, right, what is it that changes?
Well, for sure those thrust levers, those are different. The instruments are pretty much similar. I mean, you have 4 engines here on that, but the basic instrument, how the setup is done is like the same. The overhead compartment is different because like the fuel panel is totally different. You have more fuel tanks like here. And the call button, there are slight differences on this and on this, but some things are pretty much the same, as you have the same type rating. So the plan would be just, I'm doing a traffic pattern. That means we're climbing straight at around 1,000 feet, then doing a right turn to 1,500 feet above airport elevation. This is what they did. And then do a landing here, and then we might set you up on a final approach, and then I try to teach you how to land an Airbus.
Sounds good, yeah.
So we normally would have done like the briefing, then we would start the stopwatch, like on every flight we start the stopwatch, and then I said, okay, takeoff, and then I'm reading the annunciators here to see that everything is running like it should, and you will checking the takeoff power. This is the EPR ratio. Those Rolls-Royce engines are, you have the N1 like another aircraft, and you have this one also with the EPR, and this is the EPR is our target EPR for takeoff power. So once this is reached, the pilot monitoring would say thrust is set.
Thrust set, yeah. Okay.
And I'm holding the brakes until 1.1 just to let them all accelerate the same. You see it's slowly accelerating. And then you would say thrust is set.
Thrust is set.
I'm applying just a bit of downward pressure. You see the cross, I'm just a downward pressure to see that everything is working. And at around 100 knots, you would say 100.
100.
And I said check to see that both speed indicators are correct. And then the computer says V1.
V1.
And then you say rotate.
Rotate.
And I'm going to rotate. You see, I pulled, and it took a while, and now the aircraft is lifting up. So when we have positive climb, there and there, I say gear up, and you will put the gear lever up. Just pull it out. Yeah, perfect.
Gear up.
And as we're flying manually, we just that off.
What you turned off was the flight director?
Right.
Yeah.
And can you set this to, let's say, 190 knots?
190.
Right.
Okay. Do I press something then? Or?
No, that's fine. And flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Yeah, you would first.
Oh yeah.
Speed check.
Speed check. Yeah.
And then flaps 1.
I should know that.
Yeah, no, just try to explain while I'm flying. It's not that common to do that.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, the with the 747, when you're flying manual thrust, then it's synchronized. So if you're just having like 49% on one engine, and the others will synchronize the same. This is not done here. Many manufacturers are flying this with the auto thrust on all the time.
Yeah.
So this is different. So it's not so easy to fly this 4-engine aircraft with manual thrust.
It's sort of surprising that Airbus wouldn't synchronize it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they thought they fly with auto thrust on, so you don't have to synchronize. But
right.
We're flying just manual flight, manual thrust. So as soon as we're a beam, we're flying 45 seconds outbound. We're just a beam the threshold right now, I guess. So and then flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Yeah, so you said
speed check.
Flaps 2.
Flaps 2 set.
And speed managed, so you push the speed. And now we're getting slower. So we now presently have like 13 knots of tailwind. So normally we're flying outbound for 45 seconds. But as we have 13 knots of tailwind, we reduce it by 13 seconds. So after 32 seconds, we're turning final. So gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 3.
Flaps 3, speed check.
And flaps full.
Flaps full, speed check.
Right. You see 3 wide, 1 red?
Yes.
2 wide, so we're on glide slope, and now I'm turning final and establish the sync rate. So I'm just watching the ground speed, which is 142, and the sync rate should be like half of it, like divided by 2, means like around 700 feet per minute. So I have to adjust a little bit on this base leg.
ECAM landing, no blue.
Right, and then we're clear to land. The wind is just from southerly direction, like with 15 knots, something around that. So I'm trying to, with the cockpit, try to be a little bit left of center line. On this you can see whether you're like, the track line is on the center line. So yeah, now we have 3 right, 3 red. I'm just correcting slightly. So going to like 500 or 600 feet a minute. And then now we have like 2 white, 2 red, going back to 700 feet a minute.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Retard, and then put the nose to the center, and now we're there. The spoilers are deployed, the reversers are unlocked, and yeah, basically. So the next call would be 70 knots, and then just to make sure the reversers are at idle thrust, and as soon as we're just taxiing, the reversers should be closed.
Okay, my turn to land.
You're just steering the plane. With an Airbus, it's like it's very important to just not to over control the plane.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good to go. We're now flying.
Nice.
So I'm just adjusting the thrust levers. So manual thrust, and then you can fly now. You push the red button, and then the second time, so the wait. Okay. So we'll count from 70 down, and when it passes 40, just between 40 and 30, lift the nose.
Okay.
100. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 4.
Very good. Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel. And your brakes. Very good.
Nice. It is very subtle, isn't it?
Yeah. Like the design of every Airbus is at around 50 feet, it lowers the nose to be 8 seconds later at -2. By doing this, the pilot, without knowing this, is forced to lift the nose up, so which is getting into that effect. And this is so you have to stop lowering the nose and then lift up the nose at about 2 degrees, and then the aircraft is setting down. Or you have to just pull the back pressure just always a little bit to prevent the nose from going down. And then once the main gear is touched, so you have to retard the thrust levels, the main gear is touched, you just slowly lower the nose down. This is, and you did it very well because you have to do very little inputs. Like this is the most important thing when you're coming from a plane like a Boeing where you have to do large inputs. If you do large inputs here, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And do you have to be extra careful with that sort of thing on the 600 specifically, with how much you raise the nose? Also for rotation, are you being?
Yeah, we do the rotation right away. So you see that the 600, like the tail strike risk is there, but it's not in a way that most people think. The tail strike risk is when you do the rotation on the 600 and you pull it, nothing will happen. You will see it. You will pull and you say, why is it not lifting? Because then the tail tends to go down and afterwards the nose comes up. And if you at that point would just release the pressure, then it would be dangerous because the turning point shifts from the wheels to the aerodynamic turning point, which then, if it's lifted up a little bit, could result into a stronger back pressure into the tail strike. You know, this is what could be the case. So for rotation, it's important to, like you have the cross, you rotate the cross somewhere to 10 degrees, a little bit more, and leave it there.
Okay.
And the goal is to have the rotation at 12.5 degrees.
Okay.
So leave it there, and then the aircraft is lifting up. And now you're doing the traffic pattern, if it's okay.
Cool, yeah, let's do it.
I will do some assistance on that. So we pull the flaps towards 2. So on my airline, it's always the captain says takeoff thrust and always does the rejected takeoff if needed. There's some other airlines where the co-pilot does that.
The idea is that it should always be the captain's decision to reject takeoff.
Because like it's a very, very dynamic situation, the takeoff. So we do an extra briefing for that. So let's say until 100 knots, you can abort the takeoff for about everything, like whatever reason, like flock of birds coming through. But above 100, it's like a loss of thrust, loss of control, the ATC call or a message that comes up, but that's only related to flight controls where they're not working or engine problems. So it's very important to have this like scenario hardwired to your memory because it's so very dynamic, because this is like you're accelerating at such a high speed. It's very, very important to have this hardwired so react right. Yeah. This is why it's only done by like the captain. So as I said, now we do the takeoff, and yeah, just show me how you would pull it. You can do it faster.
Okay.
So it's also, people might think, oh, because it's a large plane, do it slow.
Yeah.
No, you can do it like, really fast. I would show you just like this would be the thing, like at least 3 degrees per second. So even faster, and then do it like this, and then you will feel the delayed movement of the aircraft. Okay. Right?
And then you need to hold it there, or it's
you have to hold it there. The goal is
Dual input.
So this is how it sounds when I'm just doing it, when you're doing it. And the goal is to have this pitch indicator. The cross will disappear once we are airborne at 12.5 degrees.
Okay.
You have control.
I have control.
Takeoff.
Takeoff.
Now. So you would say now man flags SRS runway auto thrust blue. You're reading that. And I would say thrust is set. You would now apply a little bit of forward pressure. Just to see, okay, flight controls are working. Now you would slowly release that and have a neutral position. 100 knots. You would say check.
Check.
and then it says V1.
V1.
What
Okay.
he will say,
V1.
rotate. Now you pull.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep it there until the indicator is at 12.5 degrees. Positive climb, gear up. So now we're trying without flight director. Let's see
Okay.
how that works. Yeah, just lower the nose
Right, we're at
to about
15
10
now.
degrees.
Okay.
Go to 10 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm retracting the flaps. 1900 feet, you try to do the level off.
Okay.
This is the birdie that shows you where you have 5 degrees nose up, like the aircraft.
Yeah.
And if you push it down, that the birdie is level, even more down. So when the green birdie is the flight path vector, so now you're descending, so you have to
Right.
pull it up.
Zero input.
Well, that was me. So just a bit more. So we would try to maintain 1900 feet.
Right. Okay. So we need to get
Right.
up a little bit.
Yeah. You see the difference between the pitch indicator, the aircraft is pitched up a little bit more, but
Yeah.
the bird shows how you're descending or just maintain the level. So if the green flight path vector like this is on the horizon, the aircraft will stay at that altitude. So you see, so you figure out.
Okay. Yep.
And once you're comfortable, you're just doing a right turn towards heading 066.
Okay.
So the right side is clear, you're clear to turn all the time.
Try and maintain that
Yeah,
altitude.
you see it's pitching up a bit, so you have to lower the nose. That was a bit too much. You see, it's like, always remember, only half of the input you think it should need,
Yeah.
right?
We're going for heading what again?
066.
Okay.
Still a bit. Yeah, you're climbing again,
Yeah.
so you have to, yeah, perfect. And yeah, 30 degrees bank maximum. Yeah, and as soon as we're just passing the beam point or beam position, sometimes you might see it if you just look outside the window, you see the threshold of that runway.
Yep.
And our position is exactly like where those yellow lines are crossing. This is like an aircraft, but our position is exactly there. So now we're there, we start the stopwatch, and lower the flaps to 2, speed checked. And this might come up, the nose come up a bit of, there's a bit of ballooning when you're setting the flaps to
Yeah.
2. You might have felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we're, as we said, 45 seconds outbound, minus 5 seconds for the tailwind.
Okay.
You just keep the altitude. So 40 seconds outbound.
Descending.
Yeah, well, start the descent right now, and as we're flying around 160, push the nose down, please. And just wings level at about 100. Right now, make a wings level, please.
Okay.
And yeah, the sink rate of about 0.8 something.
Okay.
Try that. Very good. And always aim for the midpoint between the runway and our position. Not to aim on the runway as we're trying to have a straight final.
Yeah.
So yeah, perfect. So you see 3 reds. So just stay at like 600 feet. 600. Perfect. And now go back to like 700 or 800.
Okay.
Yeah. And stay on this. Don't turn any further.
Okay.
The wind is coming a little bit from the left-hand side. We try to be on the center line and have the cockpit just a little bit slightly on the left of the center line
400.
as the
Okay.
wind is coming from the left.
70, 60, 50,
Yes,
40,
2 degrees.
30, 20, retard, 5.
Perfect. Spoilers. Reverse green. Descent. Applying manual brakes. How's that?
That was lovely. Really nice.
You did very well.
Thank you.
Because it's like, this is the most difficult part to control less.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People are always try to like control more.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is, especially if you flew the Boeing,
Yeah.
you like to, I'm in control of the aircraft, I have to control more. No. It's like, it's control less.
All
It's
right.
the most important thing, just to let things
Yeah.
happen.
Let's
So,
try it.
let's try it. You have the flight director again,
Yeah. Good. I need
and we're just perfectly set on fire. You just,
that. I just only
the thing is, just do less. Keep the sink rate to like 700 or 800. Try to keep it like that. And we're just turning to the left a little bit, so correct it to the right just a little bit. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And now back the wings level.
70, 60, 50, 40,
Now lift it by 2
30,
degrees.
20, retard, 5,
It was a bit hard.
Bit
So
harder?
yeah, you have to lift it a little bit more.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
a little bit more, like 2 degrees. So
Okay.
can we put it again on 3
Yeah.
3 miles final?
Wow.
This is also a difference between the Boeing and the Airbus. It has notches, like the climb notch, the flags notch, the toga notch. Actually, if you set it in climb notch, the auto thrust is on and reduces or increases the power between like 0 and the climb power. This is, and when you're just flying manual, then you have to put it out of the notch and disconnect the auto thrust. If I don't disconnect the auto thrust, just put it like here, then it modulates between this and this, or this and this. So this is different than Boeing. With Boeing, you have the thrust lever angle is always corresponding to the power of the engine. Like this is kind of also different for other pilots. So what we normally do on a manual landing, we just try to be at manual flight and manual thrust at around 1,000 feet above ground, just to get used to that. And this is the lowest would be possible with a manual landing. So let's see how this works. Everything is prepared for a automatic landing, but I want to do the manual landing. So the autopilot is off, and now I'm steering. And as I said, I'm do a very, very little inputs. And what's also very important, the power setting is a bit high.
400,
So it's also not so easy to reduce the power. And if you just see now the runway or the lights,
400,
it's very important not to dive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you have to just fly the same sync rate again and continue
100.
that sync rate. It's very
70,
important not to
60,
dive.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 7,
Yeah?
Yeah.
All the visual cues that were there before are not there.
Yeah.
You only have those few lights, and you tend to
Yeah.
just dive there because you
yeah.
want to go there.
Yeah. 100%.
And you have to stay. This is why I'm just always training like the sync rate and everything to keep that in correspondence to your speed. So you're just doing the same thing all the time.
70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard,
Now.
retard,
This would be on the real aircraft would be a normal landing. Non-flex 65 SAS, runway auto thrust blue, and you would say thrust set.
Thrust set.
I apply a little bit of forward pressure to see that the stick is moving and the stick is working, and releasing it between 80 and 100 knots. And you say 100 knots.
100 knots.
Check. Stop. You push that button to silence the bell. Attention crew on station, attention crew on station. You would inform the tower, you would say Lufthansa 400 rejecting takeoff.
Okay.
And then we would verify, okay, there's a fire light, there's a fire light, and there's a fire. And I would say ECOM actions. And then you would start reading that. So,
All right. So ATC.
so you would start with the title, engine 1 fire,
Oh yeah.
and then you said ATC notify.
Okay.
And I said, okay, you notified. Okay, then the next,
Cabin crew alert.
alerted.
Engine master 1 off.
That's what you do on the ground. You pull that one off.
Off. Okay. Where were we?
There.
Engine 1 fire PB.
Fire push button push. This is this. And on ground, it doesn't have to be confirmed. So you're just lifting that flap. Yeah, there's a flap. Perfect. And then you push. So now the squibs are armed. And use Agent 1 discharge.
Engine 1.
Push that one until the
Discharge.
discharge light is on. And the line disappears. Then Agent 2 discharge. Perfect. And then engine, we shut off all the engines.
Okay.
Engine master 2 off.
Engine master 2 off. So this
Yeah.
one.
And now the fire disappeared. So this is important that pilots notice that. The message, the ECOM disappears, so there's no firelight here, and there's no firelight there. So we stop that procedure and we evaluate whether the evacuation is still required or not. So we might read that. So engine 1 shutdown, fuel imbalance monitor, which is not very important on the ground.
Yeah.
So clear engine 1. Air abnormal bleed config, which is also not important like on the ground, so clear air. And you see 2 engines are shut down, those generators are not working. So this is why it's pushed up here. So the other generators are working. We can clear air leg. And we don't need the status right now because we just want to leave either to the parking position. But first of all, we have to take care of the passengers because they're in an alert situation. I said cabin crew, attention crew on station, I said attention crew on station. So now we do evaluate and say, okay, the fire is out. And the fire brigade maybe also said, okay, the fire is out. The infrared camera shows there's no fire. And then I would do like cancel alert, cancel alert.
Okay.
Right. If the fire would still be on, then we would just go into the evac list. That would either appear here or do on our here.
Claus, this was super fun. Thank you so much.
So that was Croatian.
Yeah, this was an
220.
Airbus 220, and this is a 320. I guess it's the oldest one, the oldest 320 Lufthansa has. It's Quebec Whiskey. I'm not quite sure, but it's the most experienced A320 that Lufthansa has.
25 years old.
Let's see. Yeah, Thessaloniki.
Thanks for joining us today for this unique opportunity to catch a glimpse inside this training facility and get to know the A340-600 in particular. Do you feel like you could land one now? And we'll be bringing you part 2 very soon with the H-145 helicopter and Boeing 747 sims, plus more info from Claus about the methodology and approach that goes into training pilots here. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss it. And let us know if this left you with any lingering questions in the meantime down in the comments, and we'll do our best to get you some answers. For Flight Radar 24 in Frankfurt, I'm Gabriel Lee.